Many candidates set their sights on the Ministry of National Education as 2024 Republican presidential candidates campaign across the country. Many have one thing in common: a promise to eliminate federal agencies or otherwise dismantle the administrative state. At least 5 of the leading candidates, including Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis and former Vice President Mike Pence, have endorsed eliminating the Department of Education. A favorite target of the GOP debate in August, businessman Vivek Ramaswamy went much further. The list of departments he wants to eliminate includes not only Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives and Nuclear Regulatory Commission, but also Internal Revenue Service, even FBI. Earlier this week he proposed cutting the federal workforce by 75%. Do we want incremental reform? Ramaswamy said. Or do we want revolution? ABC News spoke with half a dozen experts about how eliminating departments would work. They described such commitments as political talking points that are easier said than done. And some said the proposals were impractical or unachievable. Some outcomes are either dangerous to the federal government's ability to fulfill its mission or downright impossible, making promises that candidates cannot keep, said Donald Kettl, a professor emeritus at the university, a native Maryland and former dean of the School Public Policy. It's a long shot, said Kevin Kosari, a senior fellow at the center-right think tank American Enterprise Institute. Government institutions have a habit of fooling around. Brian Snyder, the idea of disbanding these organizations is not new. Republicans have long toyed with the idea that the federal government is too big and needs to be streamlined. Abolishing Department of Education, in particular, has been a goal of the Republican Party since agency was signed into law by President Jimmy Carter. In 1979, President Ronald Reagan made this a standard applause line. But there's a reason why this doesn't happen. There are so many obstacles to such an effort that none of them can pinpoint the last time a top department was completely wiped off the map. Experts said the executive branch's authority to reorganize itself is limited and almost certainly does not extend to unilaterally eliminating a cabinet department or agency as provided for in law, said Michael Thorning, director of structural democracy at the Bipartisan Policy Center. Experts agree that eliminating an agency should be done in conjunction with Congress. And given the current makeup of lawmakers on Capitol Hill, the Republican-led House and the Democrat-controlled Senate, any proposal is likely face an uphill battle. Not to mention pushback from various interest groups that would lobby Congress pursue these proposals. Departments. You can't get rid of departments unless you roll back the law, said Elaine Kamarck, senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institution. Let's take the Ministry of N.